And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the last game of the night here at the North American Challenger League. It's good to be back here. It's been a great day, and what a better way to end it than LMQ Tianzi iBUYPOWER facing the team formerly known as LoLPro. Now, for the purposes of today's game, they will be LMQ, and we will see how they will fare as, I don't know, kind of a team that's had their ups and downs, a lot of potential. So maybe like CLG in that respect, but taking on LMQ, kind of been faltering here, but looked very strong this weekend.
It all depends on who's on the off day, who's on the off day. If LoLPro are feeling it today, if this is their one and only chance, and LMQ just can't muster it for some reason, I could see LoLPro just dominating this game. We've seen a lot of snowballs from both teams.
That's true, and LMQ, at least in NACL, have been putting up some good performances early on in the season, but recently, especially in preparation for their NACS matches, may have sort of taken a back seat. So we'll see if, now that they've gone ahead and won their NACS match, they can start, pulling out the try-hard mode and taking out LoLPro. So I want to really focus on the mid lane here. Jackie is really a mid laner that I feel like consistently needs to prove himself, but at the same time has come up big several times this season for LoLPro already. And so with the picks and bans underway, we're going to go ahead and hop into the game. I've already got LeBlanc and Nidalee banned out there. Lulu and Elise, you're going to see a lot of focus on the mid lane here in the bans.
I mean, it's Y Zhao and Y Jackie. Of course, both of them have proven themselves to be massive. If Cassidy makes it through the picks, I actually do wonder if either team will pick it up. Both teams can play aggressively early enough that Cassidy pick, kind of like what we saw with Curse Academy early on, can be shut down. The issue is, can you convert that into a one game early enough before he gets a Seraph's Embrace and kills everybody? Pantheon does get banned out less. I'd say Pantheon's actually scary just because of his early game snowballing, as he has been just banned out almost permanently the past couple weeks. He's amazing as a champion in the jungle role. So Cassidy makes it through, but he might not get picked up. Yeah,
and Cassidy is a champion we've seen kind of picked, banned. It's kind of a torpid thought right now. There's Lulu first banned there by LMQ. You don't want to let that through. I think Lulu's kind of going to be the new Cassidy out there. Really ridiculous to do. We saw earlier on it was Slushy who just devastated with Lulu in Team 8's game against Complexity Black earlier on. So I'm not going to let the Lulu power through, but it's a first pick Renekton for LoLPro. They're going to get some big power picks here and really comfort picks as well as Jackie locks in his Ziggs.
Yeah, there's still a lot of OP out there. You can see some of the targeted bans, of course, for example, LeBlanc and Caitlyn. LeBlanc, one of those champions where you don't really ban it out until you see the Lulu already banned, but that was the first ban immediate. We do not want to see it on Wei Zhao from LoLPro. And Ziggs going to be a nice comfy pick, like you said. Lee Sin also for Heaven Time. I'm really kind of wondering. Everybody's getting good picks.
Zhao, he hovered over the Rengar there, the official Lomo Cat of LMQ. Rengar could possibly come up in the mid lane or in the top lane. Saw it come out in OGN a couple times over the weekend in Masters. Didn't work out for Trace on Jin Air Green Wings. So he's supposed to be an expert on the champion. When it doesn't work over there, not sure we're going to necessarily be seeing that one locked in, but looks like it could possibly be a Kale. Zhao has been hovering through some different champions, and a Dr. Mundo for Ackerman. That's
well, it's all about the one thing right now with Dr. Mundo versus Renekton. Does he die at level 3 or level 4?
That's true. It's early all in.
Yeah, that dive from Renekton where he's got his buddy Lee Sin. He gets a stun off. Lee Sin lands a resonating strike, and that's a dead Mundo.
The question for me is, do you go for Vi when you can possibly pick up the Kha'Zix? That's No Name's kind of go-to champion. But it looks like with the time running out, it is going to be a lock-in on Vi. Now, Vi Sivir has been really the big combo. You just over-initiate and then use that on the hunt to catch up. But with Lucian locked in, I like that champion choice much more for Ackerman. I feel like his Sivir maybe needs a little bit more work, but at least for right now, he's got a champion we know he's good at.
Well, Sivir is one of those champions where you need to have a specific focus. Like you want to gank a lot. Like let's say with the Pantheon, let's say with the Vi. But the thing is, Vi doesn't need that much help getting in, and they already have a Thresh, so they're not dependent on extra engage because they already have enough with that Vi for the bot lane. So they can just focus on bot lane ganks once Vi hits level 6 and because of Thresh's Express, you know, the train station right to the fight, and Vi's already massive initiation range with Vault Breaker and her ultimate, they get her into fights pretty quickly. Now, what I want to know is about the mid lane, though.
Yeah, that's true. They saved the best for last on LMQ, waiting out until that last pick for the mid lane choice, but it's the duo lane that hasn't been chosen here for Team LoLPro, and we'll have to see if they do lock in the Vayne. Yeah, so that's a nice way to deal with Dr. Mundo, especially the health stacking, counted out there by the true damage from Silver Bolts. But once again, the mid lane, it's the last pick, it's left up, and while Kassadin is available, does more grab Gragas there for Xiao Zhao. Ooh, and Vladimir maybe hovered over there. Is a lot of the mages starting to come back into the scene. We'll see what this
Those
locked in.
casters.
I can't imagine a game with Xiao Zhao on Kassadin going badly. Like my brain still isn't updated to the new Kassadin, which may not be quite as strong as usual. Ryze especially getting that just a little bit of change to his health, and then the 50 range added to his Q. It's a whole new world for Ryze.
Ryze, I mean, he does have some range issues early on in the game. Level 1 versus Ziggs. But eventually he'll was trying to kind of push out. He will lose a push forward to Ziggs, but he can just farm it up in the mid lane. Orianna can actually survive that push.
Do they go safe mode? That's an interesting choice. That is...
Is Orianna even safe nowadays? Orianna used to be the safe champion because she takes so long to scale. You really need to make plays happen ASAP.
Right.
Or just keep the game completely passive for like 40 minutes. And that's not how LoLPro plays. That's not how LMQ plays. So expect a lot of aggression mid lane, especially once Vi hits level 6 to back up those shockwave combos.
Exactly. And going for these farm-based champions in a recent interview with Games in Asia, Xiao Zhao actually said sometimes the farm-based champions can have a downfall when he, as a very farm-intensive mid laner, just loves to pick champions like Gragas, like Orianna, that can just farm and farm for days. But he said that sometimes that's actually a little bit of a bad thing because he spends too much time farming, not enough time around the map making plays. And there's something to be said for knowing your strengths, but then another strength being knowing your weaknesses. And so picking another very heavy farm-based champion. We'll see what he does with Orianna here. There's a lot of champions left open. Gragas, Kassadin, even Yasuo's up there, but he's going straight for the Orianna. It's locked in, and these are your final lineups for LMQ and LoLPro. We'll be getting into this game here in just a second as we hop into spectator delay. But before we do start the game up, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors. You can see them right down below the screen. They are LoLClass. You can click on that link to head over to lolclass.com, where you can sign up for some nice lessons with LCS and Challenger Scene pros, teaching you how to play some of your favorite champions, and giving you all the in and outs there. Once again, you can sign up by heading over to lolclass.com. And of course, another great website to visit would be by clicking on the Phoenix down below. You can head over to phoenixcollection.com, where you can check out some of the most impeccably crafted and beautifully designed gaming peripherals out there on the market: mice, keyboards, mouse pads, and headsets, and all available once again at phoenixcollection.com.
And of course, there is Loot Crate, where for $13.37 a month, you can get a crate of loot sent directly to your door. That loot will contain things like nerd apparel, swag, loot, lots of random things. A bit of a grab bag, but it's always got something cool. This month's theme is going to be Attack on Titanfall, giving you both your mech, your shooter, and your anime all in one. So you might get a sick Attack on Titan or Titanfall shirt. But with that, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We got LoLPro going up against LMQ, Tensu, iBUYPOWER. It's going to be a hype match, but we're going to take a quick break right before we return here at the North American Challenger League.
Those nights when we were younger and we would never sleep. So let's forget about tomorrow and live for tonight while we're free. sky. Tonight we're coming alive. And our hands will touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive. And our hands will touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive. From the dust we will awaken, and life will fill our veins. But these are the moments that we live for. I can't keep it inside of me. And our hands will touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive. And our hands will touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the last game of the night here at the North American Challenger League. I am Rapid. I'm here with Studio, and it's good to be back for LMQ taking on LoLPro, or Team LoMoPro, as we'll be calling them throughout the broadcast tonight. But with pretty stacked comfort picks on both sides, it's going to be an interesting game to see what LoLPro have to bring out here against LMQ. It's not a matchup we've seen before.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, all about the early game aggression. Does Ackerman die? Do we see Hanser just play that terrifying Renekton? Can Jackie start his Farm Fest, or will eventually YJL get some backup from No Name, and the Orianna Ziggs Domination Fest will begin soon? It's all about just kind of snowballing ASAP, and I want to see how the teams really kind of start that up. Or if they're both scared of snowballing, both teams might play so passively nothing happens. But it's going to be one of those extreme games. We're either going to see nothing or we're going to just see constant action.
Kind of surprised to see Ackerman start with a Doran Shield instead of like a Ruby Crystal that we've seen from a lot of Dr. Mundos, but with both items having been nerfed, it's kind of a what's non-optimal, suboptimal itemization do you start out with. Renekton has kind of switched over to the more offensive Doran's Blade, and I actually really like the Doran's Blade in this matchup against Dr. Mundo, because it gives Renekton that big early power spike that he needs to punish Dr. Mundo's weak early game.
It's kind of weird with Renekton because he's just building more and more ID as time goes on. Before it used to be Doran Shield, and then you go tanky. Now it's Doran Shield, and then you go into Ravenous Hydra or Brutalizer, and now it's Doran's Blade, Ravenous Hydra, eventually eventually it's just going to be Doran's Blade, Ravenous Hydra, Bloodthirster, Blade of the Rune King, and then Last Whisper. Like, you don't need tankiness eventually.
Yeah,
It's just like how he's coming towards the meta.
And I forget if it was PDD or another Chinese top laner over the weekend in LPL. I think it was EDG's top laner, but I'm not sure, who built full attack damage Renekton.
Yeah,
and
it worked.
It
worked
did
quite well.
I think quite well is an understatement. Man, that guy got fed. It was ridiculous. He was like 11-2. It was pretty crazy. So full AD is a thing out there, and actually more getting chunked out here. And time to talk about this bottom lane. LMQ, when they win everywhere. But when they lose, it's the bottom lane that seems to crumble first. Moore and Vasily have had some pretty rough games in NACL this season, especially when Vasily plays AD carries like Sivir. But back on the double guns power of Lucian, we'll have to see if that's enough to kind of put him back in the comfort zone.
It can be. The thing is, Vayne is going to be such an odd pick because we saw her last game, but in general, she's never picked as you're really kind of dependent on snowballing the lanes quite hard, as really her mid game is not enough if she doesn't have an advantage nowadays. So Vayne can dodge thresh hooks. It's going to be harder to dodge thresh plays though, and it's going to be about just applying constant pressure, making sure that it's never safe for Laud to just tumble to dodge a skill shot from Vasily. If so, that neuters his damage. Vayne can always go for that all-in eventually. I want to see just constant pressure coming out for Moore, trying to keep the tumble on cooldown, and that lets Vasily go for auto-attack harass. That lets him try and land his Q, land his W as well.
All right, now it was actually a red buff start for Vi. She's going to finish off her blue and now look for probably a gank in the mid lane, just helping take the pressure out. In the bottom lane, it's going to be the flash flay backwards. Barriers out there, but I don't think that's going to be enough. First blood for Moore, but now Olo actually could go down here at the same time, but makes it back. The turret with the flash, and just all of a sudden that bottom lane exploding will just be a 1-for-0, but even still, I think Vasily and Moore kind of took over that bottom lane.
They're going to be quite far ahead. They can deny quite a bit of CS just by pushing in hard. Actually, Vi's in the area. Like, Low is not out of this yet. His Ignite's on cooldown. His Flash is on cooldown.
Very, very low health, but they have to
Vi.
push the wave.
They have to push the wave, and they want to wait for the 4-minute mark.
All right. Oh, that's true, because then you get maximum gold value out there. Ackerman getting dove there. It's exactly what you said, Studio. Can Ackerman make it past that big early level power spike?
Or poor Low.
Oh my god.
He had nothing.
And no name. Oh, he actually gets left behind there. Is he going to die here? Okay, there's minions to tank the turret. Lot doesn't want to tumble into 3 champions, but Moore kind of trolled him there. Took the Lantern
If
back.
Vayne was level 3, that would actually been a death. Like, that would have been
condemned.
Crucible Bolts, yeah. That's rough for the bot lane, because that is so much gold. And that extra kill, of course, happened after the 4-minute mark. That top lane kill on Mundo, before the 4-minute mark, he teleported there right away. He expected to die. He was planning to die that entire time, really. It's so common nowadays. However, Ignite down on Haunter because he made it back to lane so quickly. And it wasn't
but now mid, having time. Oh, the bounce back forces the flash out there. Zhao. Holy cow, that was a nice satchel charge from Jackie.
It burns the flash, doesn't get the kill. Barrier available on Wai Zhao. He can actually go for a bait here.
Oh, flash out, Heaven Time still staying alive. The barrier's out there, but it's the bouncing bomb. Flash
minions.
Jackie's gonna die safeguard. Heaven Time in the nick of time.
Actually, Barrier's still available on Jackie. He knew he was going to survive that. So
have to be careful. Don't want to go in on that. They can outplay No Name, but
well, No Name has no HP himself. Like, you can't really see the top of the HP bar on our side. And actually, No Name might be going down.
He's going Heaven Time. Be careful, man. Giving us heart attacks out here. Jackie does have enough mana for 1 bouncing bomb and maybe an short fuse and powered auto attack, but better to go back to base and get back to lane. Time for Zhao to get back there. No Name also very, very low. He's getting pushed out, and already his kills traded back and forth, but both of LMQ's kills are on Moore, and that's a great place to have him. Moore carries that bottom lane early on.
So yeah, it's now pressure in the bottom lane. Like, Moore will do incredibly well now. He's an incredibly powerful support playing Thresh, and he uses his advantage as well. He's going to apply pressure, just going to stay up there. He's going to watch out for Heaven Time, of course, but this is going to be the Moore show. He can almost 1v2. As for the mid lane, even though Orianna dies, she's still Orianna. She can still farm now, has the Chalice of Harmony, so it's a lot more mana regeneration, a lot more push. And Jackie doesn't get that massive power boost until he gets the Athene's release. So it's still not great, but it's an even lane. It's that top lane that concerns me for LMQ, just because Renekton now, despite the teleport for Mundo, he's ahead by 14 CS. There's a decent wave coming back towards Mundo right now, but it's going to be rough for Ackerman. And once Mundo falls behind, it's so hard for him to come back, because you have to land cleavers against a Renekton that's pushing up, has a big old creep wave to balance out and stop those cleavers, and it's hard to defend against that.
All right, so with the weakness in the top lane, possibly we'll have to see how impactful that is, because honestly, sometimes top laners, they can fall behind early and then just build tank, and it doesn't really matter. But once again, coming back up to top lane, Eventime not going to go for this crazy early dive, but Ackerman's only level 5, so he does not have that big sadism ult to keep himself in this. Immediate response from No Name. Starting to come top lane. This is going to be an attempt at taking down the turret, but might get turned around on Hanser. Going to take a lot of damage, slices out. That turret will be safe for now.
It's all about securing that level 6 on Mundo, because Mundo can survive the dives. He just needs the ultimate. Even with the Ignite on Hanser, there should be just enough HP on Ackerman to actually survive a heavy initiation like that. But they have to wait it out. They have to get him to level 6. Does hit it. He should be a lot safer in lane now, even versus Lee Sin ganks. So Mundo makes it to level 6, behind by 18 CS. Not great. He's surviving, but he's not thriving.
All right, well, he is staying aliving, and that's probably the most important part. And while he's up there with Renekton, that Vi wasn't necessarily a gank. Oh, man, back in the mid lane, man. Eventime all over the map so far. Has a kill, has an assist, 100% kill participation, and really, Zhao, he's getting, he's down a little bit in CS against Jackie, and that's really the matchup I want to see. Oh, the death sentence onto Lod, gets pulled back into the turret more. No bubble there, man. If Low had bubbled more under turret, that would have been rough.
That would have been huge. The thing with Wei Zhao is that he is just getting socked around, but he's not missing a lot of CS. Like, now there's a slight advantage for Jackie, but this is after 2 ganks from Eventime. And Eventime himself, he's not getting farm. Flash
He's
forward,
going bottom. There's a nice heal, but it's just not enough. More tanks up a couple turret shots and actually diving deep for Low. The death sentence lands. Now more should go down here. Does. Vasily's got a little bit too much damage there for Eventime to deal with. He will back out, but man, a 2-for-1 once again. LMQ, they still lose their support, but they pick up 2 kills this time on Vasily.
Yeah, Vasily now, this is going to be the power spike with Lucian. We saw this last game a little bit. Unfortunately, Lucian couldn't really quite cut the snuff, but this time, 500 gold lead. LMQ is a team that can convert a Vasily advantage into a massive lead. Wei Zhao still keeping up in the CS, now has his own blue buff, should be able to survive a little bit more. And I'm worried about Eventime. He's doing well, but he is also not farming up himself. So if he keeps going for this heavy gank presence and he starts missing those ganks, doesn't keep getting these kills, he will fall behind incredibly fast if he doesn't rotate to a farm game. And Lee Sin, if he falls behind, you can make some cool plays happen. You'll have a lot of damage, but he's so squishy. Just burst it down immediately is the issue.
Well, he did just pick up his Spirit of the Lizard Elder, and that's going to allow him a lot more freedom as far as farming. It helps him really trade that out, but ooh, Vasily trading things out with Lod. Lod should be totally okay with her in that lane. Wow, Ackerman. Top lane getting really chunked out, man. That's the pickaxe first power.
He's got to use that sadism to heal before the wave reaches his turret, especially if Lee Sin shows his presence. You can actually see Lee Sin already on the way up top lane in the minimap as more on Vasily, just having some fun in the bot lane, going for some pressure. Law does do really good all-in damage, but the issue is surviving both the Flay, the death sentence, and all of Lucian's heavy damage. He can tumble dodge a death sentence, but everything else that comes afterwards will just shred him to bits. He needs that all-in where he's not getting CC'd.
Now, the way that Lod and Low are playing bottom lane is really confusing for Vasily and Moore because they never know exactly when they should expect the gank or not. Stun goes down onto Ackerman. They're going to try to dive him out there. He just finished using sadism in lane to try to sustain. Now he goes down. The top turret goes down. That's first turret of the game for Team LoLPro.
And as it all goes on, more in the bot lane being taken down as well. So 2 kills for LoLPro, giving them a 1,000 gold lead, and that turret just kind of gives them a lot more map control. Ackerman, he's falling behind, and time again, once Mundo starts falling behind versus not Hanser, but actually versus Hanser, he's one of the Renektons that can do this. He's going to get pushed in. He will get some farm, but not as much farm as Renekton, and he'll just steadily just kind of bleed out the game. He'll be okay. He'll be kind of useful. But he'll compare that to a Renekton that will have that Ravenous Hydra and then a taggy item up on Mundo, and it's just going to be devastating for LMQ if they can't get Ackerman back into the game. That farming passive Mundo that we used to always see, it just doesn't work because people are applying more and more pressure to the farming Mundos, and his cleavers are nice for picking up CS, but it's just not enough to survive that incredibly high burst from someone like Renekton.
But in the meantime, with that gank pressure top lane, LMQ are going to take down the first Dragon of the game. And I think Dragon is it's a nice objective to pick up because over time, more and more of them really do give you a sizable gold lead. But Dragons respawn and turrets do not. So for the time being, Ackerman should be able to sit up in that top lane and maybe try to come back just a little bit. But at this point in time, you're starting to face a few of the scary realities of falling behind top lane. And that is enough defensive stats being built onto Hanser to survive Dr. Mundo's damage, as well as that's Tiamat just now completed, which means that Mundo is not really going to be able to clear these waves quite as quickly as he wants.
Yeah, that Negatron cloak is going to be massive versus Mundo's damage. It's all pretty much magical, being that tanky booster caster in a sense. Haunter's going to have as much fun as he wants to top lane. And the thing is, you know, we always call top lane the wet noodle fight. Haunter is not a wet noodle in this case. He's,
No.
he's some well-cooked pasta, and Ackerman, he can just toss himself at him. But Haunter will just shred him to bits, and it's going to be always a favorable trade. Unless Haunter goes for a big mistake or Ackerman lands a lot of cleavers, and he has to land quite a few cleavers.
Yeah, I was going to say, so many cleavers up there. We're going to see how this bottom lane transpires. No names in the area. Law's choosing this time to go aggressive because Heaven Time's coming in. But where is the counter gank? No name comes over the wall. Vasily actually very, very low. Heaven Time a little bit too far up there, and Moore takes him down to counter that out there. Oh, it's going to be a condemn on a no name. Pushes him back. You're going to try again. Second time's the charm. Low will be back into the turret in time.
Jackie. Oh, Jackie. He's got his ultimate available. Shouldn't be enough to pick up Vasily. So they should be safe. And actually, Jackie will be backing out of the out from the river. Ultimate was, I believe, just used to help clear out some minions, so unfortunately could not be used for that final pick-off kill into Vasily. That was a great initiation, but Heaven Time, he kicked Vasily back at the same time that Low used the ultimate, the tidal wave. And what happened is he couldn't get a direct kickback because of the angle he approached from. It's hard to really get those direct kickbacks from such a long distance. You can't always make an insect. And it ended up putting Vasily off to the side, which means the tidal wave came by, did not connect, and that was the extra bit of CC and damage they needed to actually finish him off. And Heaven Time just caught out with his pants down, unfortunately. But the bottom lane, still pretty even. Like, the Vayne's falling behind.
Oh, Haunter coming in. He's in the wrong neighborhood.
Oh,
dodges
that's gotta burn.
that command shockwave. So a lot of pressure off of Zhao, or taken away from him. Won't have that to use. Haunter is going to be forced to go back to base, and so for the time being, oh, Heaven Time over the wall. Haunter stopping his recall. There's the Dragon's Rage you're looking for. Haunter, all that damage being put to use, taking him out, and now with a 30 CS advantage over Ackerman, and he's really broken this laning phase very, very early. Zhao's down, and it's going to be up to Ackerman's rotation here to keep this mid turret up. Can't do it.
Second turret of the game, just giving a slight 800 gold advantage, actually 600 gold advantage to LoLPro right now. I got to credit to a bot lane, though, for LoLPro. Lot's really kind of come back in the lane. He's still behind by CS, but only by about 10, and it's been a lot of the pressure from Heaven Time. Heaven Time has been the superstar this game. 3-1-2, not 100% kill participation quite yet. And actually, if they could secure this blue buff, I mean, that denies it from Wei Zhao.
Oh, and No Name smites it away. Nice smite there. Jackie will rejoin the rest of his team on towards the Dragon area. It's not up, so not a good place to be. Everybody slicing, dicing, jumping over the wall and trying to disengage, and it looks like everybody from LoLPro will make it back safe and sound. So still the game very, very even. 500 gold separate both of these teams.
Well, it's kills bot lane and the farm advantage and kills top lane that are balancing it out. Like, no one's super overpowered, though. Like, Lucian was ahead, but Vayne's catching up in CS. Renekton is powerful. I'm scared of Renekton the most right now.
Right.
But Renekton's still not the best team fighter because he's going to be squishy. His mitigation is going to be having a lot of HP and that one Negatron cloak. So he can stop a lot of Ackerman's damage, but you can't stop Ackerman, Wei Zhao, and No Name. So no one's really that powerful for a team fight quite yet. But I want to see if Heaven Time can keep making the plays happen as Wei Zhao.
Going in on to Zhao. He's going to get in on there. One more auto attack, but it's actually the command shockwave. Not quite as good as the Mega Inferno Bomb. It takes him down. So 0-3 in the mid lane on a somewhat interesting Orianna choice. But we got to head bottom lane. Nice bubble onto Vasily. Blocks a lot of that damage, but just a little bit too little too late, and Low dropping that way as now gets death sentence. The fish gets hooked. And there you go. They'll be frying him up down there. No Name almost going down, but just not enough.
That last second lantern does save No Name in the end. Mid turret going down, though. LoLPro just going for the turrets now, 0-3 in favor of LoLPro in terms of turrets. Bottom finally gets taken down, though. Keeping the gold levels even. Like, if LoLPro can't defend turrets, if LMQ ever gets that push where they get 2 or 3 turrets, then that's going to be massive because that's going to be just a swing of just easy objectives they can take that balance out the gold. But now Ackerman at the top lane.
Oh,
He's got some buddies.
Yeah, but he's had these friends the entire game. He needs to play like top lane of Mumu, so at least he's happy to have friends up there. But for right now, he's doing a good job just holding his lane, not dying a ton. Sure, he died twice, but that was off of dives, and LMQ got a dragon off of one of those. So it's not the worst of all worlds. The problem that LMQ are having is they don't have mid lane presence. Now, some games that we've seen, especially the remarkable victory. Ooh, Lowe's gonna have to keep himself. Okay,
Lowe's A-okay. Lowe's perfectly fine there. He actually didn't have to move whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, when you see Zhao heading at you as a support, you're just like, I'm about to. Oh wait, I have an entire team here, and by the way, that Hauntzer's huge.
Like, you know, even if the rest of the team hadn't been there, like Haunter on his own is enough to scare out most champions, especially someone like Orianna, who has very, very low defensive stats versus physical damage. Dragon's up in 5 seconds, though, and this could be a good chance for LoLPro to really kind of take control of the objective. They don't have the initial timing.
All right, LMQ are right where they need to be. They've got tons of pressure around that area. Now, No Name's going to slice away there. Wants to avoid the ball. Death Sentence coming out, hooks him in. Is this the start of the fight? Not wanting to overcommit. Mega Inferno Bomb's going to come down there, clears out the creep, but doesn't really land onto anyone from LMQ.
And here comes a chase. They could try and go for, the insect style plays, go for a kickback. Well, Ajao actually pretty far forward, but the Resonating Strike did land onto a Mundo rather than Orianna, so be a little bit too slow about that. And now, Dragon being attempted, this could be a good initiation for LMQ. Teams are very even.
They can
Gold's dead even.
burst it pretty quickly, but they're not going to finish it off there. Just finish it. Yes, all right. So LoLPro already start off with the objective in their hands. Haunter just walks into the back line, almost one-shot Zhao, but goes down. It's a 1-for-1 so far. Heaven Time still got lots of love left to give. Goes in, tries for the insect, but it's countered out immediately. The culling in a huge command. Shockwave low dropping that way. Will stay alive, but not very long. Ackerman, though, taking out Heaven Time. Is just kind of running rampant. Jackie's trying to kill him out there, but Moore's coming in from behind. A Cleaver will land flash over the wall. There's already a ward there, but it belongs to Jackie. He's going to barrier out there. Needs just one, bomb auto attack. He's not going to have enough to kill off Ackerman. Can he do it?
So close. Wait, mine's not enough. Ackerman so close to walking over to his death. But with that, only an 800 goal lead for LMQ after that fight, as that Dragon evens it out completely. You mentioned this earlier, Rapid, but Laud, of course, completely stopping Mundo towards the end of that fight, as Ackerman realized, if I dive towards this Fane, she'll murder me with that true damage. And you can see just kind of the really good teamwork and play from LMQ. They baited out that fight. They actually got destroyed at the beginning of that fight. I thought they were going to get run down and die. But Jackie's ult was already on cooldown, and because they were able to kind of kite that out, Zhao got a huge ult. They just turned everything around with that big bit of burst, especially with Lucian backing that up.
And man, that's the difference between running AD reds or maybe putting some extra, just a little bit of attack damage somewhere, because when Haunter dove the back line, he got Zhao down to 100 hit points, but he just couldn't finish it off. And then there was Command Protect, there was enough peel for him. Zhao got out of the fight and then was able to get back into it, whereas Haunter died and traded his life for No Names. Now, it was still an Ice Smite by Heaven Time, still got his team to gold, and his bottom turret's going to go down off of a lot of additional pressure too. So, in some sense, LoLPro are still kind of in the driver's seat. They're still the ones initiating these big plays, but LMQ, it's not too strange to see them lose the early game. It's the late game, the late Baron team fights where they really come back.
Yeah, and of course, this is the mid-game transitional team fight. Laning is going to be breaking down. Maybe not top lane, as you can see Renekton already back on up there. But Lucian, of course, Vasily playing incredibly well. He's got the Lomo plays, as we all know. But if you think about the AoE for LMQ, it's not massively obvious. There isn't oh yeah, you'll apply this Morgana ultimate into an Orianna ultimate into a Malphite ult. But they do have Orianna into Lucian. Now, it's going to sound kind of odd, but just the burst from Lucian. Actually, Ackerman being caught out. Does flash over the wall, but can he escape?
Oh, bounced back by a nice satchel charge. He's going to get that ward jump back in there, but he just has too much health regen. And when you overextend, it can't kill the Dr. Mundo. Mundo starts to go where he pleases. LMQ is starting to come in here looking for a pick. They got more in the front lines. No death sentences coming out just yet.
So in the bot lane, they're trying to do a Laud. Laud, if he misses a tumble, can just get blown up. Out-traded so severely.
He missed the Silver Bolt's proc too, and there's the culling. He's going to tumble back away. Does he have the outplay here? He's underneath the turret, but Vasily just takes him down. Too much damage. Ton of lifesteal there, and that is going to be the game, or the 1v1 game down there in the bottom lane and the second tier turret.
All right, and I got to give credit to Vasily. That Ardent Blaze was actually one. Oh God, Heaven Time going for the kill. Vasily's so low.
I don't know about that. Vasily's got a bloodthirster. He can't do this. Yeah, you can't really take down an 80 carry that's that far ahead. 5-0 and 6 now. Vasily is a monster. And Jackie right around the corner. One auto attacking doesn't find him.
Jackie missing the bomb. That bomb that would have secured that kill. And of course, Vasily not walking forward into the ward. That was like the best incidental safety. He would have spotted out that ward, of course. They might have known it was there, so in the end, well played by Vasily. But I just want to talk about that Ardent Blaze versus the Vayne fight. He tossed it off to the side in case Vayne tried to flash that to make a big play happen. And like if Vayne tried to go for like this cool defensive flash, then he would pick up the kill with the Ardent Blaze. And if not, it gave him his passive already, so he could just auto-attack her right in front of him. So that was actually really cool coming out from Vasily. Definitely an interesting way to use a skill like that. Just saying, I need the passive more than anything. I'll put it over here as a safety net.
Yeah, the 0-3 Vayne fighting a 4-0 Lucian probably wasn't going to work out too well, and so you see their kills and deaths increase accordingly after that. It's completed cash money Triforce there for Vasily. Also has that Bloodthirster on top of that, and I don't know, man. Bottom lane's looking good. Mid lane, not so much. But as an Orianna, you can always kind of be that utility carry from the mid lane. You got shields, you have Command Shockwave that really turns fights around, and while you may not be dealing the damage, the rest of your team can pick up the slack. And especially that farm game was even for so long, but now Zhao Weizhao starting to come out to about a 20 CS lead, even though he is down those 3 kills.
And it's so rare to see a Ziggs fall behind in CS. It's actually rare to see it, especially versus someone like Orianna. And you have to give credit to Vasily because he is the AoE. I just want to point out how much damage his Blinding Light is doing right now. Just going to go ahead and check out the number. He is doing about 400 damage with Blinding Light, about 350 with Ardent Blaze. So that Orianna combo, which is normally about 500 by this point, maybe 600, is going to be about 1200 if Vasily is there to back that up. That is the AoE. It is nothing but Lucian, Orianna, a little bit of Mundo presence, a little bit of no-name presence, but that is a really cool way to kind of play this comp. We don't need normal AoE, we just need some skill shots that require a little bit of delay.
And to be honest, all you need right now are just the beefy wall in front of Vasily. You just need Dr. Mundo to stay in front, so when he dies, you still got that 80 carry in the back line. And this is why running Dr. Mundo is so... I don't know, it's like oh, you killed Dr. Mundo like 20 times? Too bad he's pushing your bottom inhibitor. So Ackerman's going to get the job done down there. Still has teleport, so you kill him, he comes right back.
If they can land a Death Sense, if they can start this fight, it'll be massive. We're not going to chase down Mundo, but Hunter backs out, so this is teleport territory now for Ackerman, but you can see LoLPro backing up very safely. It's the wise decision, because if not, they will be in a 5v4 with teleporting Mundo. Not a pleasant place to be. But we saw this last game with Kez going up against Cognitive. He would get blown up at the beginning of team fights, but that was fine because he was playing Evelynn, he was playing tanky Evelynn. He was there to absorb skill shots, absorb cooldowns, and that's kind of what Mundo is. He is not just there to run forward. He's there to take damage and probably die, but you'll take so much damage, you'll waste so much of the enemy's resources that it's okay that you die because the rest of your team can clean up their tank line and then take out the bank line. But that's a clean, crisp Dragon, shredded down to bits very quickly by LoLPro. They have a really good objective team.
It's a good way to put it. You take out the tank line, and then the bank line, and the back line. That's where all the money is, storing it up there. And this Dragon goes down, top turret will go down as well, and a nice top lane rotation here for LMQ. They're looking to push down the second tier, and LoLPro really not rotating at all. Now finally they see it. There's Mega Inferno Bomb just to slow down LMQ, and it will actually push them off. So successful defense there of that second tier turret, but still one turret after another. Falling down here, LMQ, they may be looking to turn this. LoLPro, staying safe.
And they might just be baiting it out, might be wasting time because we can already see Ackerman, that Moon at the bottom part of the map, just going right back towards that inhibitor turret, pushing the waves up.
It's true. If you can't fight, you can just teleport around the map, you can split push, and it's just something that Haunter's going to have to deal with. And sure, he's able to deal with it by just pushing him back away, but that takes that big Fed Renekton out of these team fights, and that's something LoLPro really need.
Yeah, if Mundo ever gets to teleport into a team fight in a 5v4, it's going to be just absolutely devastating. Like, they can't fight that 5v4.
Yeah, it's the difference between building 5v5 team comps and building 4v4 team comps. 4v4 team comp is what LMQ have right now, where they can fully function off of 4 people and don't need their top laner who can split push. Whereas LoLPro, they need a tank in the front line. Heaven Time's just not going to cut it right now because he built Spirit of the Elder Lizard first, and sure, now he's getting some tank stats, but you kind of need a little bit more than that to make the fight last a little bit longer because your 80 carry is so far behind.
Yeah, what happens right now with the team fight with LMQ is if there is no Mundo, then No Name goes in, you toss the ball on him, get an Orianna ultimate into a Lucian combo. They need Haunter to scare and scatter LMQ. We do have a pause coming out, though. Hopefully the teams can kind of fix any business that might be aired them. Got some lag issues coming out from Jackie, so hopefully we can clear them right on up.
And I believe these are actually the same lag issues that Robert X. Lee was having earlier, so No harm, no foul. We're just going to wait a few minutes for the Lagarino to calm down. And we're only 25 minutes into the game. I think we've had 2 games already so far that have gone 45 minutes plus, even like 50, 55 minutes. It's
a long night. It's a long night. Already 10:20 here in California.
But the games have been incredible.
Yes,
so
it's amazing.
Totally worth it.
Great games. Even like Cognitive playing with the sub roster, it's still entertaining. Which I got to give credit. Every time Cognitive has to use sub roster, it's still pretty entertaining to watch.
I still remember back in the days of Super Subs NA. Man, that game was incredible. So subs basically everywhere. Apparently, we're having some more lag issues here. Jackie is expressing his love for absolutely everyone. And I think that's an appropriate time for us to thank everybody for coming out tonight and watching NACL. It's a great night, but it's even better with all you people. So nice to have everybody along for the ride. If you guys missed any of tonight's games, once again, you can either check them out on the VODs here on Twitch or head over to twitch.tv/NACL Esport, or it's youtube.com/NACL Esports. All the games uploaded to YouTube for your viewing pleasure. So hopefully that helps you guys catch as much NACL action as you possibly can handle. There's a lot of it coming up, but as our last game of the night, it's a good way to finish things off.
And finish things off, I want to do it so bad. I want this game to end, but unfortunately, I just got to wait this out. I want to see how LoLPro rotates this, how they can try and fight this back, because LMQ, they've got the Wombo combo, they've got the Orion Ultimate, the big plays. However, Zig kiting, Zig burst, and that heavy damage he'll bring to the table, especially with Heaven Time. I'm scared he's starting to fall off. We're reaching mid-game Lee Sin, reaching late-game Lee Sin, actually, in a sense, because it's been such an aggressive game. A lot more gold to the table, and Heaven Time, Lee Sin's a good champion, but Heaven Time can't even make him work late-game as effectively as, let's say, a reliable Vi stun.
Yeah, Vi is sort of the opposite of Lee Sin. Vi is just like, I want to initiate. Clicks R. Lee Sin's like, I want to initiate.
I gotta press a million buttons.
All the buttons. It's like I need an extra hand, so you take your hand off your mouse and you're just like doing the Guitar Hero thing, where you need way too many fingers all at the same time. It's it's like if you guys ever played through the Fire and the Flames in Guitar Hero 3, you guys know what I'm talking about. Just too many buttons to press all too quickly, and that's basically Lee Sin in a nutshell.
It's one of those things where you make the small mistake, or actually even just go a little bit too slowly, and you get bad ultimates. You get Vasily end up surviving. You get Wai Zhao not getting blown up. But we got Ready coming out from the chat.
Right.
The R's have come. The pause will be ending, and lag should hopefully be A-okay.
All right, well, the game has been on pause here for a few seconds. Everybody's moving. It's always a good sign. Signs of life everywhere out there. And now it's looking like grouping for the drag. Oh, wait, it's not there. So right now it's just positional.
Jackie just solo blue.
Oh, my God, he did. He got it with the Mega Inferno Bomb. Ackerman not in range for those cleavers. LoLPro will be forced to back away, and it's not really forced because they did steal that, but they've traded lag problems. It's Zhao now who needs to take a little bit of a trip back to base the hard way, and we'll have to see if he can reconnect himself to this game. It's an interesting night, but at least this time LoLPro are still good.
Like I like how just passing along the leg, it just pass it on to the other side, go for the blue steal.
It's contagious.
And I'll just pass right on back. But actually, Zig's getting that blue buff means it can go for a lot more stalled out fights. The inhibitor and second tier turrets are always tough nuts to crack when you're playing against the Zigs. So LMQ, they have an advantage right now, but you can't really walk into a minefield against Zigs. You can't really go for that aggressive dive nonetheless because of Renekton, because of Lee Sin, and because of Ziggs, and actually even Laud. You don't think about 80 carries and how good they are versus dives, but diving into a vein, always terrifying. So I want to see how LMQ try and actually bait out LoLPro from those turrets.
All right, now with the game unpaused, Ackerman, Zhao, everybody's moving around. All right, good. We're good to go. So do a little bit of a recap because we have been out of the game here for just a little bit. Things starting to fall off here for LoLPro. Their Haunter very far ahead, but hasn't been able to keep up with Ackerman, who's been just running around the map, split pushing, not really actually fighting one another. Even now you can see Ackerman's just like, I mean, I'm not going to fight you, but at the same time you can't do anything for your team.
He's actually kind of caught out. However, we'll be making back to his turret, it seems, as even though LoLPro all in the area, chasing down a Mundo always so difficult. They don't have a lot of good sustained CC necessarily. That's what makes it hard for Ackerman to actually die. Because he just walks out, he'll get stunned once or twice, might get bursted down a bit, but he'll be fine.
Well, LoLPro are actually doing a good thing here and trying to force a 5v5 fight, which gives them the benefit of that advantage they have in the top lane. Now, Laud still does have a great time against Dr. Mundo, chunking out that big tank, because, hey, it's Vayne, Blade of the Ruined King, and those Silver Bolts proc. basically Mundo's worst nightmare. So
a lot of attack speed because of that Zeal as well. He's a very fast attacker, which is all you really need. Actually, Hanzo being caught out, though, will be able to slice out of there. Not get the dice necessarily, but this is the aggressive push. They have a lot of skill shots, a lot of poke.
yeah, and actually a lot of damage starting to come out, but not being done to the turret just yet. I want to see Ackerman really beat this big front line, but I don't think he's quite there just yet. Does have a couple items. 3 if you want to count those completed boots, which really do help you out against a lot of attack damage. But grabbing onto Heaven, time safeguard away.
Ooh, good Jackie ultimate. Doesn't get kills, but it just chunks
Oh,
everyone
more.
down low. More
Yeah.
actually has to retreat. LMQ have to give up this turret.
And Jackie just landing a huge Mega Inferno Bomb. That's the turret. So great job by Jackie, almost single-handedly turning that fight in LoLPro's favor. So nice to see some big impactful plays, but now are they going to overextend? The culling coming out there. Haunter's gets chunked, about a third of his life gone. Some sustain coming back from low.
I think they might just need to go for this if they can get the catch out.
Oh, now it's low.
Where's No Name?
Oh my gosh, Vasily just dunks on him. Now Lod gonna go down. It's a double kill for Vasily, just too much damage. Evan time gets reeled back into the team, and LMQ just explode out of their base, 3 for 0.
Cleaver lands, and this is going to be Jackie's demise.
Jackie.
Satchel charges down.
He tries to dodge the cleaver, but nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Vasily going legendary. Now 8-0-7.
That losing damage is just bonkers now. Baron going to very quickly be destroyed at this point. Hunter actually going to go ahead and clear out that bottom wave, and that was just the most casual chase down. They got enough damage from the culling to kind of scare off Hanser, and it was just kind of the rundown. How do you escape such a mobile team? The Oriana, the dissonance could just completely negate any sort of movement from the Talisman of Ascension that came out of low. And that was it. That was just a great rundown, a great chase. And now Baron being taken out very quickly. Wei Zhao actually pushing in the mid lane.
Yeah, Wei Zhao was just like, look, I'm not going to help you guys take the Baron. I got bigger things to do. Not a whole lot bigger things than Baron, but hey, nice to see him taking it down. And that's 5th turret of the game, so turret's tied. But now, especially with that Baron buff, the kill's starting to run away here from LoLPro.
If you're LoLPro, what do you do right now? The push, it almost worked, but they got caught on the rebound. They got caught on the escape. Baron now, of course, going to make that even harder. They just need to, go for some sort of gank, go for some surprises. If they can maybe catch up Mundo, that might be the big hope because they can try to push off that. It's Mundo.
Yeah, I was going to say you send maybe Lod to split push against Dr. Mundo because everything about Vayne counters everything about Mundo. The only problem is the Thorn Mail now completed for Dr. Mundo, and that is going to be a one Thorn or many in Lod's side. So it's like, I want to focus. Oh, wait, he's hurting me a lot.
He's going to kill me. Like, the important thing about Thorn Mail is that it essentially negates lifesteal. Like, actually, with the amount of armor Mundo has, it'll probably do a lot more to Lod. But in general, you negate all the lifesteal, so someone like Lod really needs that sustain to survive. He'll just get bursted down and chunked anyways.
Oh, now LMQ are about to really heavily out-rotate LoLPro because Lod's going to stay bottom and try to kill that wave. And top lane, you can already see Vasily is going to kill this turret in like 2 seconds. That guy does so much damage. He's got the Cash Money Triforce in there, but oh, nice. Mega Inferno Bomb. Going to keep that turret alive for just a little bit longer, but you can't stall forever here against LMQ. They've got tons of damage, especially with that Triforce now completed, and they're looking to take down what is, I believe, the last outer turret here.
Yeah, this will be, like you said, the last outer turret, and how do they defend against it? Mundo not in the fight, but he has teleport. He can very easily show up, and of course, actually Flash coming out.
Wait, what? Forward. That is a little bit deep as the rest of LMQ breaking the front lines of LoLPro's defenses. Wreck my voice as well. More very, very low. Time very low as well. He's going to get out of there, but LMQ, that's what they have to do to take down that second tier top lane turret. All outer turrets down now. Base defense intensifies.
I mean, that was a flash initiation from No Name, and actually what happened at the same time is Ackerman teleported to the side. Could not get enough lockdown, though. The rest of LMQ is not close enough. Lucian has decent gap closers. They're not that good. He can't go, past the turret that fast. Heaven Time going for a bit of chase. They can't really secure this, though. As they're going into the jungle, it's not worked up for them. They would be going in blind, which even with Lee Sin, it's a risky proposition. But now, all the outer turret's gone. It's going to be all about kind of the jungle control, the map control. They can try and go for a straight-up push onto the inhibitor turret, but it's a relatively narrow space to fight. You're fighting into a strong turret. They can goof up on the side of LMQ, so I'd expect them to go for more of a kind of either a poke-out sustained push or to go for a lot of map-controlled jungle fights, little bits of vision being abused. And now LoLPro going for the counter push. They knew that LMQ took a lot of damage on the escape, except they're already back at full HP.
Well, this time Zhao does take his own blue buff here, so nice to see them. No steals coming out right now, but LoLPro could be in a little bit of trouble. Things are about to heat up. They're lighting the campfire, they're cooking the marshmallows, they're popping up the tents, because that's what the action's getting. Inside.
Intense. But here comes the initiation. Oriana ultimate does not connect, actually.
All right, well, Haunter once again getting chunked out before the fight even starts, and this is the most awkward sort of yes fight, no fight. Haunter does avoid most of the culling, but does get McHale's out there. Nice way to get him out. Low is not going to go anywhere except down, and now, Vasily, though, flashes over the wall, almost goes down to Haunter's aggression, but it's more that finally grabs the kill onto Heaven Time, and now, right in the middle of everything, Haunter, just a huge tanky beast, just still got damage from the back line. Laud, Jackie, they're still pushing back and into LMQ. Very, very low, but can LMQ fire back? Ackerman's still very, very strong. Jackie's out of mana.
But he snipes out Wei Zhao. They're still counting this out. Jackie does get hit by the death sentence.
Laud is fighting the Thornmail. Not what you want to go tumbling on Vasily's. Gonna go down their barriers out. He gets the condemn, but he doesn't. Silver Bolts proc. Oh, and now Haunter's just gonna die here, so sorry. Rough time.
Hit in the face with the cleaver. Not a whole lot you can do. However, finally LMQ are actually able to secure the fight. LOH is already back up.
He's home guarding towards Vasily.
I mean, he's going to try and defend. Can't do a whole lot, but his presence there might be enough just kind of to scare off Vasily. And Vasily was be going back anyways. That was a great fight from LoLPro for a few seconds. They got Vasily out of the fight, and he had to A, sustain off rates, and then B, walk around the fight to actually even do any damage at that point. And with that delayed fight, with the fact that Vasily wasn't there, they almost turned it around. They had great kiting coming out towards the end of the fight. That is how Laud started picking up a kill. He got his first kill of the entire game. He's able to actually do a lot of damage as Vayne, despite the fact that he's far behind. That is kind of that Vayne signature presence. Silverbolt procs just makes you scale so well, even if you're not doing that great.
And he finally has a last whisper, which means even the Thornmail that Dr. Mundo has isn't quite going to be as effective. And as you get more and more health there on Ackerman, it's just going to make you more and more susceptible to those Silver Bolts procs, which, again, don't trigger Thornmail damage. So you're taking a lot of damage that you can't counteract. So, man, this game is starting to heat up. There's a weird interaction in that last fight. I'm going to have to go back and watch where Nami ult kind of like canceled the Oriana command shockwave.
It was a disengage from, it was a flash and slice at the same time, and it just kind of all connected at the same time. But you saw the shockwave hit on No Name as the tidal wave hit, so it was a massive animation, but it wasn't as big as the actual hitbox was.
Yeah, it just looked a little bit strange. Everybody flying everywhere. And
it's like the shockwave was closer to the camera because it's a knock-up, but the shockwave wasn't actually bigger, so it looked kind of weird, but that's such an odd interaction that is just not common.
Okay, well, interactions that are common include the effect that a 909 AD carry has on winning your team the game, and so far Vasily has just been an absolute monster. Hasn't been looking Vasily at all this game, but with a death cap now completed and going down early, coming back late, Zhao. He's got the farm of a god there, and picking up as many items as he wants is kind of right on par there with Jackie. I feel like they're both looking for their Zhonya's, but from different sides of the item.
Yeah, both looking for that little bit of defensive nature. I want to see Zhonya's finish on both Ziggs and Oriana because it gives them so much defensive potential and a lot of outplay potential. Now, with that team fight being over, though, it's another outer turret gone. I mean, there are no outer or inner turrets. There are no turrets left besides the inhibitor turrets.
Spectator server,
and
please.
There are some pause going on. It's
we're going to take
iffy.
a little bit of second. That is
we'll fix
highly
this.
unfortunate. All right, well, the game apparently having a brief hiccup here. We'll see what we can do as we're corralling our Murlocs here for a second. Give us a small moment to hop back into here. And as we do, we'll go ahead and try to put some I don't know, something soothing to make this look a little bit better. And that probably means us, which is cool and everything. While we try to reconnect and get everything back there, some unfortunate server issues appearing to crop up here. We already had players come in and out of the game.
Now it's our turn. There we go. Passing it back.
It's true.
Welcome
back.
back.
All right, so you guys get to look at us while we look at what on earth is happening here to the servers. It appears as if things are continuing, but still no word yet. We've got our top doges on the case, so don't worry. We've put a little little keg of like alcohol underneath DJ's neck, and he's like hoofing his way up the alpine slopes, trying to rescue the stranded Riot servers. I don't know what's going on up there, but it appears as if we are in fact getting back into the game. So
We're loading back up. We're actually going to rewind it, make sure we don't miss any action, because we don't want to be like, oh, by the way, Nexus exploded. And it was an awesome ace. Y'all missed it. We do have some of that, so we'll just try and go ahead. Keep it even, keep it steady. Not miss any of that play. Scary, scary
yeah,
times,
it was.
yeah.
Keep calm and watch NACL. So we'll hopefully get everything back and loaded up there. Apparently it was Vasily who was having a few issues, and somehow those issues, once again, they're contagious. So starts with LoLPro, moves over to LMQ, and now finally to us, the spectators, somewhat difficult to have happen here. But as we get in back to the game, we're loading in. Vasily's taking a little bit of a longer time. We'll have to see how exactly that works as we, I don't know. This is interesting. It's never a dull moment here at NACL.
Never a dull moment in the world of connecting to servers. Looks like we do have some gameplay up.
And here we go. All right, so we're a little bit back, so we hopefully did not miss all that much. I think everything's kind of back to where it's supposed to be. I don't notice anything too wrong. Oh, wait, they've all sold their items for Boots of Lucidity. I think that's something that only Darien does, but we'll have to see how well this Baron fight goes. Need a safeguard back. Heaven Time going to go down before the fight even starts. It's a nice tidal wave, and more very low as well. Ackerman going to try to get that charge on into the team, but I think he might have bitten off a little bit more than he could chew. Might go down here, does get condemned backwards, but we still have that engaged right in onto the back line. Lod going down there, nice engaged. Everybody from LMQ very, very low. But I don't think there's enough damage left from LoLPro to take him out. So great team fight, spreading the damage out. And now LoLPro looking to fire back.
They go for the extended cutout fight. They go for that just long chase. The thing is, it was that Mundo Cleaver, all of that dissonance movement speed that let LMQ stay up and just keep applying that damage. Of course, Heaven Time dying just too soon in the fight. If they had Lee Sin for the kick, that might have been enough for them to kite that out and just pick up some kills. Unfortunately, with the great chase and great rundown, it was a good fight from LoLPro. They almost killed everybody, but almost killing everybody and killing nobody is not quite a good situation to be in. And it looks like LMQ will be taking this Baron as Zig's ultimate. Not going to go for that steal.
Oh, man, and it's especially with that Baron buff up, that is not what you want to have on a team that is basically now ahead in every area. Now, a 10,000 gold increase or difference between both teams, it's going to be even that much more difficult here for LoLPro to come back into this. Now, keep in mind, they do have some pretty nice scaling as Vayne continues to get up there, gets those big items up, but I just don't think that's really going to be enough. At this point, there's too strong of a tank line for even Vayne to deal with. It just takes too long to chunk everybody down. Maybe if you just like randomly throw an Infinity Edge onto Lod, that'd be really cool, but there's just not enough damage. And Vasily is just way too far out there. 10, 0, and 11.
They need to kill Vasily. But how do you kill someone like Lucian when they're this far ahead? What is their great dive? What is their great burst? It's going to be Renekton, it's going to be Lee Sin, and it's going to be, I guess, the ultimate from Jackie. The thing is, Renekton doesn't deal that much damage late game. You think of him more as that mid-game terror, and he was terrifying, but now compared to a Vasily that has 6 items, his 6th item not completed quite yet, but he has 6 of them, and just so much lifesteal and damage. Haunter can't even 1v1. If he tries to 1v1, Vasily will heal off the damage he's dealing, essentially. And the thing is, Heaven Time is kind of the same issue. He's just not that tanky. He's not that damaging. They need good follow-up. They just don't have it quite yet. Essentially, they need to make like the big pro play where Lod somehow gets a condemn off and auto-attack him a few times and go for that kind of burst.
I just realized that Vasily's score is like 19 in binary, so I'll have to see if that's significant. I'm sure that somehow that means singed, but I'm just, I don't know, my inner nerd's coming out. But now, we got a lot of nerds coming out to watch this, so it's nice to know that I'm not the only one. Now as we look towards this middle lane, not sure how low. All right, he is the only one there by himself getting taken down. Command Shockwave in the back. Not all that impactful, but still a 4v5. It's a nice way to start off the siege. And Ackerman can pretty much heal through this turret damage. Not too sure this turret's really going to last very long. Just posturing around there. Jackie's half health, below half mana. He's going to have a hard time defending this mid lane turret. Minions coming in. There's the engage right into the back lines. No Zanya's Hourglass. He's staying alive, but not long enough. Goes down, and now the base in full breach. Lod's gonna fall. Flashing back in there. Heaven Time goes down. Vasily still picking those up. Needs to, I don't know, change his name to Vakili after this one, because that's what he's picking up. Every single one right off the bat. You can run, but you can't hide. Now 13, 0, and 12.
And that should be the game. No Name is down, but It's 40 seconds until Jackie's back to fight. Lod is alive himself, but it's one single lane with the help of Low, trying to defend against his 4-man strong push. A surrender vote actually coming out, and that will be it for LoLPro. They had a good run. They had a really solid early game on that Haunter. It was terrifying, but unfortunately they could just not lock down that game. And with the help of a lot of help from Vasily, LMQ was able to really kind of come into their mid to late game.
And that is going to do it for our last game of the evening. A great start, but an even for LoLPro, but an even better finish for LMQ. And that's going to really help them coming back after maybe a few rough weeks in NACL. Really looking back strong against LoLPro, who have kind of been, I don't know, they've had their highs, they've had their lows. In this game, well, they had one on the team, but it's going to be interesting to see how well they can come back. This is week 4 of NACL. We've only got 5 weeks in the season, so one more week left for teams to improve their scores. So we've got, like I said, 2 more days coming up this week, 3 more days actually. All right, I'm getting my days right.
Wait a second, today is Monday.
It's true.
Yes.
So 3 more days.
Tuesday. It's a 4-day week this time.
That's
next
right.
week is 5 days. We actually
All
have
right.
5 days next week.
I was confused on the schedule. 4 days this week, 5 days next week, and then playoffs the week after that. So hopefully, guys, we'll come back here tomorrow. We'll be starting things off at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for even more NACL. If you guys liked any of the content tonight, make sure to share your thoughts about it. You can do so on Twitter by using the hashtag NACL and tweeting at NACL Esports. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And if you missed any of tonight's action, make sure to head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/NACL Esports, and check out any of tonight's games uploaded in VOD format there. If you guys want to keep in touch with NACL, you can follow us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, all at NACL Esports. And if you want to share your thoughts with us individually, you can see our Twitters right down there below. All right. All right, it's right there on the screen, at Rapid Casting, at League of Studio, and of course at EGAD or Feed. Our production for tonight has been at Prius707, so definitely give the Doge some love as well. Thank you guys for coming out. It's been great to have you here, but we'll see you back here tomorrow night. So on behalf of myself, Studio, EGAD, our live production crew, and all of us here at the NACL Studios, it's been a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.